Ladies and gentlemen, the bomb cyclone started on Wednesday out in the Midwest, and they are being hammered by a heavy blizzard that's currently going on. So, this came out in the New York Post April 11th, 2019. April bomb cyclone hammers central US. They said the conditions are so bad and the visibility is bad. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is on top of the flood that's already in the Midwest. Because of this storm, they are saying parts of the Midwest will probably be underwater all the way up until July. That is so hard to just picture that in your head. That is so hard to imagine. It's not even funny. Blizzard warnings were posted from Colorado to Minnesota on Wednesday, and wildfires were a concern in New Mexico, Texas, and Oklahoma as the second bomb cyclone storm less than a month hit the U.S. And, this is the Midwest part of the U.S. And if you really think about it, they've been slammed by the polar vortex and unusually heavy rains and the snow. So this has been a real treacherous year, especially for those on the East Coast and the Midwest. It has been really treacherous with the cold. Okay, so heavy snow disrupted ground and air travel Wednesday. Roads became impassable. Visibility was down to a few feet in northeast South Dakota due to heavy snowfall. And that's the same area where people lost their cattle. Their cattle actually got buried under the snow. They tried to dig them all out, but many of them died. About half the daily flights at Denver International Airport were canceled. Up to 2.5 feet of snow was expected to fall in parts of eastern South Dakota and southwestern Minnesota. The National Weather Service said winds up to 50 miles an hour was also expected, creating a life-threatening conditions. We're calling it historic because of the widespread heavy snow. We will set up some record, said Mike Conley, a weather service meteorologist in Aberdeen, South Dakota, transportation officials. Now, there's just talking about certain interstates here that will be closed, actually. So you got Interstate 29, East Central South Dakota, North Dakota border, as well as a 270-mile section of Interstate 90. Wow. So they're closing down roads. Numerous traffic crashes were reported in northeastern South Dakota, and the storm knocked out power to thousands of homes and businesses in Sioux Falls. Wow. Officials in Colorado closed a 150-mile stretch of Interstate 76 from just northeast of Denver and Nebraska border. So the governor has activated the National Guard out there, and just in case people, stranded motorists mainly, to be rescued. Multiple crashes in Minnesota along a snowy stretch of Interstate 35. Officials to close about 10 miles of the highway, about 50 miles south of Minneapolis. In Nebraska, the state patrol was sending additional troopers into the state's panhandle, and officials closed Interstate 80 in that region. I mean, they're just closing down highways all over the place because of the bad blizzard-like conditions. An unusual but not rare weather phenomenon known as thunder snow. We've had that a few times, quite a few times in New Jersey. It'll be a blizzard going on and you'll see lightning strikes and thunder. We've had that. So I know exactly what they're talking about. Okay, so they have thunder snow conditions in South Dakota. Wow. It's essentially a thunderstorm, but it's cold enough to snow. All right, so the governor closed down state government offices in 52 counties. Numerous schools closed quite naturally. Nebraska Governor Pete Ricketts extended weather-related executive orders until May 15th to help communities gain fast access to the state's emergency resources. Yeah. Woo, man, look at that. Just like you see people fleeing hurricanes, you also see people trying to get out when these conditions happen too. It's just not reported. Everybody don't stay and, hold out. Some of the people really do pack up and they try to get the hell out. All right, so they're just talking about all of the schools and school functions that are closed, which is just common sense stuff. Major League Baseball, they're just talking about postponed games, just the typical things you would expect. Now, strong winds associated with the weather system were creating dangerous wildfire and travel conditions in New Mexico, Texas, and Oklahoma. The Weather Service has issued a high wind warning for Texas and Oklahoma panhandles. Winds in excess of 50 miles an hour are combing, and low humidity and unstable atmosphere to create critical fire conditions in the three states. Wow. Wow. And there are so many things going on. There's so many things going on, y'all. The blast dropped heavy snow and led to massive flooding in the Midwest that caused billions of dollars in damage in Nebraska, Missouri, Iowa, and South Dakota. Now, if you can imagine, this is what happened a month ago, and you see all of this new, fresh snow coming. Boy, that's unbelievable. I mean, literally now, the Midwest is a swamp area. That's all it is right now. Okay, because they're now expecting these rivers, which are already swollen, they're going to swell even more from the level of snow that's dropping. Okay, forecaster said this week storm will swell rivers again, though likely not to the level seen last month due to the absence of wet snowpack or frozen ground this time around. Even moderate rises in the Missouri River will push more water into drenched Fremont County and southwestern Iowa. Emergency management, this is what they're saying. Last month, flooding swamped 455 houses and thousands of acres of farmland in his region. Okay. Do you know they said they're not eating these farmers? And I was reading about the livestock that was lost. There was like 3,000 pigs lost, and then you saw another area and they might have lost like another 400 pigs. I mean, it's a lot of you got to think about that flooding. It's a lot of crap in that flood water, which makes it toxic. You got all those animal carcasses down in the water, and oh man, who knows what other toxins are in that water. But yeah, a lot of the farmers have reported their livestock as killed by the flood. The problem is that we're not getting any time for the water to recede and things to dry out. So the levees can't be fixed. The houses can't be fixed. Crops can't be planted, he said. Yeah, I mean, I was looking at grain that was lost. I mean, they lost all of their grain. I mean, these farmers are literally in bad shape, y'all. In the Midwest, they are in bad shape. Some of them were saying they are getting out of farming. They don't even want to farm anymore. That's how bad it is. And I'm sure many of them are going to struggle bad if you got a government that is not going in there to even help. So, as far as the weather is concerned, man, they are screwed right now. But we're going to be getting some of the rain on the East Coast by the weekend. So we're not out of it either. And actually, this morning is quite chilly, and I'm definitely feeling it. But please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.